Any of you guys who are Football Manager fans, and I'm guessing the majority of you guys watching this video will know, as much as we love the game, it is pretty time consuming, takes up a lot of time to do a single season compared to how long it would take in another game, like FIFA, for example. Well, a few years ago, you might remember there was a version of the game called FM20. This has since been discontinued, but that was a more streamlined version of the game that allowed you to progress and do more a lot quicker for people who don't have as much time. So we thought today we'd show you how to make Football Manager as quick and as streamlined as possible to make it as much like FM20 as we can. Hello everyone, Jake here for FMSCOUT, welcome to the video, and as I mentioned, today we'll be looking at how to make your FM game as quick as possible. Now this should be a quicker video than normal, and if you do enjoy it, don't forget to smash the like button and the subscribe button as well. Before we do go and get into the video though, just a quick word over to our sponsors at SPITCH. SPITCH is a fantasy football app available in the UK and Ireland, as well as Germany and Austria, for people over the age of 18. Unlike normal fantasy football content that takes place over the course of a season, SPITCH focuses on weekly tournaments, allowing you to enter your teams for those specific weeks to try and win prizes. There's both free and paid for competitions that have their own unique rewards to be won. All you need to do to get involved is download the link in the description. From there, you'll be able to register. You might have to show your ID to do so, and then you'll be on the app and you'll be ready to pick your side like you can see me doing. From there, you can select your captain for bonus points, use the statistical analysis features in SPITCH to pick the best team possible, and then give it a go to prove that you are the best fantasy football player around. Try it out, we'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you SPITCH for sponsoring, and now back to the video. So here we are in the menus, and there's plenty of ways that you can increase the speed of your game just like it would have been in FM20, and that all comes from when you're setting up your save and you click start a new game. Obviously you guys will usually go to your advanced setup section and pick, 15 nations. You've got your Spain, your Germanys, your Russias, your Belgians, whatever it might be. Well, FM20 actually had a limit on that, and you were only allowed 5 playable nations. This is actually what the game suggests for you when you load up a save. Here we've got the Welsh League, the Spanish League, the Italian, the French and the English. Of course, you can pick and choose. I always think if you're playing in the top 5 leagues, just pick 5 other leagues. Usually the top 5 leagues in the world makes perfect sense. So Spain, Germany, France, Italy and England. That way you've got the top 5 footballing nations. You shouldn't really need too much outside of that. Of course, you can add your Portugals, your Scotlands, your Belgians on if you want to, but if you want to keep your game as minimal as possible, this is the way to go. But another thing that FM20 had was a player-based limit of 35,000, which you can see here with 5 leagues, we get around 34,000 in the large database. Now you can just mess around with the small, medium, larges until you get a database that you want. However, you can also just go to the advanced section and pick certain regions that you want players from. For example, if you just wanted the main players from Europe loaded in, you can select it this way, whatever it might be, to make the game the way that you want to play it. But just bear in mind that Touch had a 35k player limit and only 5 loadable nations allowed, which is why your game would have felt so quick back in FM20 compared to what it might be in full fat FM. So as you can see, here we are in my Villarreal save, which if you want to, you can find it on my channel. We've just started the series. There's only 2 episodes out, so you can catch up easily up to this point if you want to get involved and watch that. I'd greatly appreciate anyone who goes over there and hits the subscribe button. But this is what we're going to use as our example today. Now there are a few steps inside your save that you can do to make it run as quick as possible to get you through the seasons. Now I'm not going to do this in this save because I like playing the full fat version of FM, but for this case we will make some changes. I just won't save the game. So you might notice here we have a different skin on. This is the Tato skin, but there are plenty of skins out there that have an instant result button. Not everyone likes an instant result button, don't get me wrong. Some people like playing all their matches, and I think most people do. However, maybe you've got a cup match or a friendly match that you can't be bothered to sit through. Now one way to get around that is to use an instant result button. When you come up in a game that you're really not interested in managing, you basically just click simulate match, choose your match plan, and then go ahead and you simulate the game, and it gives you an instant result, which can save you a lot of time in a season. If you think there's maybe 10 games a season that you're just not bothered about and you instant result, then it's going to decrease the time it takes to do one season in your save by like a quarter. So it is something to keep in mind if you want to use it, but I understand that some people find the the instant result button's not for them. If it's not, don't worry about it, don't use it. Tip number 4 to make your game as much like touch as possible is to use the staff responsibilities to get rid of the parts of the game that were never in touch, or at least weren't really touched upon too heavily in the FM Touch version, which made it run so quick. The first one of them is media responsibilities. I find these so boring that I always delegate them in every save to an assistant. It doesn't seem to have many, if any, negative effects from not doing your own press conferences. Now, FM Touch did have a few of these features I'm about to touch on, but if you are just trying to increase the speed of your game, always worth noting that if you want to, you can delegate training, you can delegate doing the opposition instructions if you want to someone else. You can delegate the staff situation to someone else. I used to spend hours upon hours sometimes renegotiating staff contracts I didn't even know about in my under 18s, and it blessed me when I found out about the responsibilities section, because not only can you give recruitment of staff over to your other staff members, which means they're always improving and replacing your coaching system, you can also ask them to renew and negotiate staff contracts, meaning you don't have to do it. This saves me a lot of time, and it's always worth looking at the responsibilities section, seeing which parts you enjoy over this overview screen, and if you don't enjoy it, if you're not bothered, usually it won't have too much of a negative effect if you ask the staff to do it for you. Another thing you can do to make your game like FM Touch if you want to is to limit your game to only 30 seasons that you can go forward in. You'll have to limit this yourself, but I think this is one of the few things that FM Touch got wrong. Why would you really want to stop your save? Keep going if you want to. No one really makes it anywhere near 30 years into their save anyway. Do let me know what your longest save is though in the comments, but that is one thing you can do if you want to make it like touch. Do a self-imposed length on your save and you can't go past that. Now, the one thing that I do really miss about FM Touch was the challenge mode that it used to have. There used to be challenges like win with kids, or there was one where you had to get a team out of a relegation battle at Christmas, and this was basically where you join in on a certain save to accomplish a specific goal, whether that was win the league with a team under the age of 21. I remember there was one, like I say, a relegation one, an injury crisis one, where you take over in say February and your team is 20th and you have to keep them up. When you get to the end of the season, the challenge ends. If you do it, you usually got like a trophy system. Now, it's a shame that Football Manager doesn't have this anymore, but in the description you can find what we have on the FMSCOUT website called the Challenge Index, which has a crazy amount of challenges that you can try and undertake in Football Manager. It will give you a description, who to start with, where to do it, and all of that good stuff, allowing you just to get on with it, do a challenge. If you get bored, you can move on to another one, and I think it just adds another layer of fun if you've got to the point where you're bored of Football Manager. And whilst that doesn't necessarily make your game quicker, it is something that FM Touch had that the game is now lacking, the challenge mode. So check out those challenge showcases if you want to and give some of them a go. So there we go, guys. If you do use these tips, not only will you make your game a lot more like FM Touch, or FM Classic as it used to be called, Classic mode that used to be a part of Football Manager, but you'll also be speeding up your saves, which is something that I think a lot of people are after. We do get a lot of comments from people asking how they could speed up their saves, and these are just a few ways, but if you know any others, let us know in the comments down below. So hopefully you have enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to like it if you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.